Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for our Trinity Youth Devotionals. My name is Dane Savory. I am the Trinity Pentecostal Church Youth and Young Adults Director, and I am so excited to share with you today. This devotion is going to be called Rags to Riches. It's going to be part of another two-part series. I really enjoyed working on that last week, and so I really feel like God has something in store for you. And so come back and join me on Wednesday to see part 2 of Rags to Riches. Why is it that when someone needs something, we're always so focused on what we don't have? You think about when you walk down maybe St. Catherine Street and someone's asking you for change. It's so quick for us to say, sorry, I don't have, sorry, I don't have. It's so easy for us to ignore when people are crying out for help, and we just operate and think only in the physical of what we don't have. Even as children, we struggle with this. When mom and dad ask us to do something, we make up excuses and we say how much we could do if we had more. Even Ariane Summers, bear with me, but believe it or not, even Ariane Summers, I'm sure at some point in her life has been asked by mom or dad to do something, and her response was, I would love to do that. If only I had this. For me, I would tell my mom, if only I had a faster bike, Mom, you would never have to go get groceries. I would be like, zoom, zoom, zoom. I would go get the groceries myself. You would never have to worry. But with this bike, I can't do anything. Always looking in the physical means that we never factor in or consider what we can do in the spiritual, what God is able to do in our lives, because He lives within us and He can do things that are far greater. We also don't consider all the things that we do have. We just zero in on the stuff that we don't have. Eventually, with spiritual maturity, we will be able to move from this mindset of broke and poor, poverty-stricken, to this mindset of being rich, bountiful, thriving situation. And that's why what we're talking about today is called Rags to Riches. If you're lost, you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry. We're going to read from the book of Mark. So it's going to be Mark chapter 6, verses 34 to 37. And I think that if you're following along with me, you're going to see exactly what I'm saying. Let's look at the mindset that the disciples have when they're operating only in the physical. So it says, when Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, He had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. So He began teaching them many things. By this time, it was late in the day. So His disciples came to Him and said, this is a remote place and it's already very late. Send the people away so they can go to the surrounding countryside and villages and buy themselves something to eat. But He answered, you give them something to eat. They said to Him, that would take more than half a year's wages. Are we to go and spend that much on bread and give it to them to eat? There's that physical mindset. We don't have the food to give them. How will we feed them? The disciples, though, had just witnessed in Mark chapter 5, Jesus raising a child from the dead, casting out the demon named Legion, and healing this woman. So all this happens, and yet the disciples are still focused and transfixed on the physical. Looking and focusing on the physical in your life will always let you down. You'll always be disappointed because there's always more. You'll always be in a place where you could use some more money. And yeah, in theory, if you had more money, you could give more money to the poor. But how often does that actually happen? It just becomes an excuse, and where we continue to stay fixated and focused on the physical. Yeah, you could use a better car than that broken down one you have. Better yet, you would use a car over that Opus card that's tucked away in your wallet right now. If you were able to have this new car, then you would be able to do so much. When I was a child, I used to tell my mom when we were waiting for the bus to go to church, just wait, Mom. When I have a car, I'm going to drive everyone home from church. No one will have to take the bus. And then what happens? You get a car and excuses. You don't have enough time. Oh, if only I had enough time. Physical. Fixating on things and blaming things for the reason why we can't do things. What we do have, though, is so valuable, and that's what I'm going to be talking about on Wednesday. But it's so important for us as we grow and develop maturity in a spiritual context, that we move from the broke mindset to what we actually do have in our life. So let me ask you this. Are you currently looking at life and just focusing on the physical? Do you only see what you don't have? Or are you seeing the great gifts, the great blessings that God has poured out on you? Is that your focus? Or are you still kind of in this place where it's a juvenile mindset where I'm broke, I have nothing to give, nothing to offer? I want to challenge you and encourage you to tune in on Wednesday as we conclude Rags to Riches. For now, today, let's change our mindset from focusing on being broke to what we do have. Have a great one.